Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Sue, and you've just stepped into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Every week, I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, a remarkable entrepreneur who's not just changing the world, but also harnessing a secret weapon, time outdoors. Together, we'll dive into their journey, unpack invaluable business advice, and discover why embracing the wild is not just good for the soul, but also a goldmine for inspiration and innovation. Ready to uncover the secret that's boosting bottom lines and fueling joy? Hit subscribe and join us in the wild. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a treat. I'm excited to introduce to you Maja Hanna. She's the founder of Theater of the Alive, and this is where she empowers artists and entrepreneurs to unleash their most vivid and memorable expressions. Maja works with individuals to help them break free from limiting beliefs and truly be heard and felt. With over a decade of experience as a director, mentor, and poet, she crafts transformational experiences that invite participants to embody their authentic voices. Through her workshops and events, Maja guides people in exploring their unique stories and connecting deeply with their audience. Her approach is centered on fostering genuine expression of creativity. Maja, welcome to Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. I'm so excited that you're here, and I can't wait to hear more about your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this. So let's dive in a little deeper. And if you talk with me about, who are these people that you're serving and what problems are you helping them solve?
Well, yeah, to really narrow it down, you nailed it with artists and entrepreneurs. That's essentially the majority of the people that I serve. And quite often it's entrepreneurs who are ready to reclaim their artist and artists who are wanting to foster a deeper, more meaningful and more nourishing relationship to their art. Because really the centerpiece of what I work with is authenticity, is sincerity. And I'm not interested in teaching people tricks on how to be on stage. So I was an actor for a long time. I've been on stage pretty much my whole life. And what I'm really interested in is people finding their own voice and their own truth in how they express and how they speak, and recognizing that that's ultimately the most generous act they can give an audience and the best way they're going to be heard and felt by an audience. But to really have an embodied and anchored experience of this is me when I'm speaking in my truth. Which doesn't mean it still serves people. I've done a lot of work with, before this in my business, I worked with speakers, and generally speakers would find me who were already very skilled, had been on stages for a long time, and they'd find me and they go, I want this that you have, this weird. Pretty much that was what they'd say. They'd be like the range and the weird that you have, because they were really polished. But when you get to that stage of being that polished, you start to go, I'm yearning for something more. And so, yeah, that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in having more of our genuine voices on stage, and for people to really feel my voice is welcome, my voice is wanted, and so is my weird as well.
Yeah.
The thing that makes you unique, which obviously serves entrepreneurs, because the more we actually really are getting into connection with what our true life force current is. The way I put it in a more poetic way, but how I experience it is the way that the current of love wants to move us. And so with entrepreneurs, that getting in touch with that serves you, because people have a real sense of who you are. And then for artists, I had an artist in the last round who he's been on stages for his whole life, and he said this program, it got me in. I've never really had a relationship with my art that was for me, he realized.
Wow.
He still loves it. He still had a lot of passion for it. But every time he was on stage, it was, performing for others. And he's a very, very talented drummer. But then to go, oh, this is what it means for my art to truly be for me. And that's actually the most generous thing to give to an audience.
That is. And then it makes it sustainable too. Because if we're, just doing
regenerative.
It for other people. Yeah. Oh,
not just sustainable, regenerative.
Yeah, regenerative. Oh, that's such a great word. And I love with the entrepreneur side too. An idea I've been playing with and talking with people about is, so I believe that entrepreneurs, we take ownership of a problem, and then we devote ourselves, and it's probably a problem we had, devote ourselves to finding that solution and then serving people. But sometimes it's you've solved the problem. It was painful. Well, that's why you found a solution. Otherwise, why bother, right? But once we've solved it, it's like the brain can't connect the emotion anymore sometimes. And they, become kind of stoic from being in business and just dealing with the hectic every day. And then you don't have that problem anymore. And it can be very easy to lose touch with that whole, the passion that you had for it. Have you found that too with some of the entrepreneurs you've coached? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's two pieces I find that tend to emerge the most with the entrepreneurs. One is it's really connecting them to their transmission. Like this is very what I call transmission-based work. There's kind of like let's call it like, I don't want to say structural based work, but work what you're speaking about. We've got problem that we're solving. And this has a lot of foundations and structures and pillars, and it has that side of it too. But really there is work that is more like, cool, I'm going to learn a strategy or a modality or something like that, which has more inherent structural pieces to it. A plus B equals, And this is much more around transmission, because I find that when we're in a transmission, or what I call the living current, that's when we have that regenerative relationship to our work, and that's when we become magnetic and people want to listen to us. So that's one piece, is like really getting entrepreneurs connected back to their transmission, because I have found a lot of entrepreneurs tend to be very heady as well. And there's a lot of bravery, there's a lot of courage in the entrepreneur part. So they're used to that, to meeting edges in that way, but actually going, how do I include more of myself in my work and recognize that's the most rich, regenerative thing I can give to myself and my audience? That's one part of it. The other is, I realized, and this is like, I'm just like a consequence of this. This wasn't something that I figured out logically. I feel like I'm just a result of this. There is a wave of entrepreneurs which are recognizing that the next evolution, the next edge, is reclaiming their artist. A lot of entrepreneurs are turning to artistry. Either like they're not necessarily fully pivoting in their career, but that's becoming another part, or they're just recognizing how much richness there is, both for their entrepreneurial journey and also for their personal world, to reclaim their artist. And that is, there's a whole wave of it happening. And again, I didn't go, hey, I'm going to jump on that wave. I just went, here is my work. Here is my heart's passion and the way that the current wants to move me. And then I went, oh, good timing, Maja.
That is so cool. It's like, a wave that just came up under you and you're like, oh, that's where I was going anyway. Great, let's go. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. All right. So how does this look like? I know you have cohorts of, 12, 14, 15, who knows how many it will end up being, but what happens? They're working with you. What does it look like?
So the flagship program, the main program, is I work with people for 2.5 months to create their own 5 to 10 minute theatre piece. So I work with a small group, an intimate group of 12. And I say like the performance at the end is not the point, and it kind of is the point at the same time. But really it's like the ceremonial reclamation, the night where you're like anchoring everything in that we've been working on together over the weeks, over the months. Because really for me, everything is relationship. And this is, I feel connected to what you're doing as well, relationship to nature. But to me, it's, people often want to make it about the content, like the content of my piece, what it is that I'm going to say. Same with speakers, we get very, and this is a protective mechanism. This is, if I can know my content, if I get what I'm talking about, if I get what I'm doing, I don't need to be in the vulnerability of not knowing and also genuinely being with what's here. And for me, I'm like, it's not content, it's relationship. And if you're in right relationship, the content is going to pour out, which doesn't mean they improvise. There is a really important devotional act in crafting a piece, because that can also be an avoidance tactic. I'll just make it up on the night. Some people are more inclined that way. Some people are inclined to plan everything out to a T. So it's somewhere in between where I'm like, we are crafting this piece, but that's not what we're doing in every group session. They also have one-on-ones with me, and that's where we're more kind of honing their piece. But they have to be willing, or have to. My invitation is that you are willing, regardless of what you've set, to throw everything away in order to serve the living current on stage when you're there. So there's a deeper layer of honesty that this work is inviting. So I tend to, whenever I have sales calls with people about doing the program, tend to get some variation of the same conversation, which is, I know this is a yes, I feel this burning in my belly, and I'm really scared.
Oh, yeah, well, sure. I mean, it's a whole different thing for, especially for entrepreneurs. Like you said, we tend to be very heady and it's very like, what's the ROI and all, all the
Mm.
spreadsheet stuff. But it sounds like the way that you work with people probably doesn't show up on a spreadsheet. I mean, it's not
Mm.
that type of thing, but it's going to
Mm.
fuel them, so they can
Mm.
continue in their passion. And
Mm.
and then serving from that, that's huge. That's
Mm. And
amazing.
it's got to, the benefits do become tangible in terms of people's specific intention, but really this work is initiation work.
Yeah.
And so there's such a variety in terms of the specifics around the people that I serve and why they step into this program. And then underneath that, what I love, what really moves my heart is I'm like, wow, underneath that, our yearnings are so simple and so similar, our human yearnings. And that stuff can get lost in spreadsheet or ROI and all of this. But underneath, it's like, actually, if we can have if we can give ourselves the chance to be truly seen, and it seems like a contradiction because we're making a theatre piece, so there's a bit of artifice in that, and yet
Ah, true. Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
and yet the invitation is to really bring authenticity to it. This is an aspect of yourself that you're expressing in your own journey of reclamation. But yeah, if you can really allow yourself to have that moment to be seen, by me, by the group, then by the audience, it kind of goes up in intensity.
Yeah.
then then that's actually all we really want. So much tends to unravel. So many stories we have about our blocks or our traumas or this is the ceiling of where I can go tend to dissolve in just that simple act of being truly seen, by allowing ourselves to be truly seen. And something also miraculous happens in that moment when we truly bring ourselves to the forefront. It suddenly matters so much less how people are receiving us or whether they're understanding us. If we are truly anchored in, this is what I'm here to say, this is my heart through my voice, there's still a beautiful yearning of like, I hope you come with me and hear me in this. And yet, if you don't, it's okay.
That's amazing. It's so funny. And it was a trend before. I think I've seen it like fading, but there used to be so many entrepreneurs were like, well, I don't want to be the voice or the face of my brand. I want to kind of be hidden in the shadows. And,
Yeah.
I can't tell anybody what I'm up to until it's already successful, like, I don't know how that's supposed to work, but like, this sense of like, it's so hard to talk about my business, like, um, well, kind of like what I run into as a writer. Like I always say, like, it's okay that you can't write for your own business. The hardest business in the world to write for is your own, typically, because you're in it up to your eyeballs. You can't really see it.
Mm.
It's, that sense. But if you're like the way that you're able to help people like reclaim that artist side of them, and then to be able to voice it and stand in it and present with it, that's got to be just revolutionary for them.
Mm.
What's like, what kind of feedback are you getting? I had the privilege of watching, some of the clips of people going, wow, this, changed everything for me. But what's like the favorite thing, the success story, I guess, is that you've seen?
Oh, gonna ask me to choose from my babies.
I know, right? Just pick one random. Babies don't listen.
Yeah, there's so many. Okay, because we are presumably talking more to entrepreneurs, I'll go with an entrepreneur I had in the previous round. The last round I had more. It's funny how they flow. Like the last round, I tended to have more artists. I've just as a majority, and this round I had more entrepreneurs. So interesting. But anyway, there was an entrepreneur in the last round she's been an entrepreneur, leader, facilitator, successful for I think 15 years, for quite a while. She's been in the game, and she's well known. And she came in to reclaim her artist because, so this is also a thing to speak, she realized the times that she had done a performance, she'd been asked to do a dance piece or asked to express artistically, people had just gotten the transmission of things that had taken her, weeks to teach them through a program, through facilitation. She was like, wow, in like 5-10 minutes, I can do a piece and people get it in that moment. So there's something so incredible about the current of, because an artist, the artist current is like you sitting in the current of your transmission, which is different necessarily for facilitating or entrepreneurship, where more you're explaining or you're like guiding other people to have their own experience. But she was like, if I'm deeply in my transmission as an artist, people get it so quickly. Like the transformation can happen so quickly, like people get it. And then obviously you guide people to their own experiences. You know, that for entrepreneurs, it's useful to have both skills for sure. Anyway, but she really realized that everything in her life was screaming like, it's time for you to reclaim your artist. And she, like, during the program, even near the end of the program, was getting invited to perform at festivals and on these stages. And then she's also pivoted a lot of her business towards play. So that was something she really felt herself called to, is like, oh, I want to, but like, how do you do that? Because from her logical entrepreneur brain, she was like, oh, how do I become this person who does play after being a successful entrepreneur in a different area? And she was like, oh, I'm fully going into it. And she ran an event, a free event the other week that had over 100 people at it. She's already running like a play facilitator training. She's like, go, 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 this woman.
That's so great. Oh my
And she's getting more and more opportunities to perform as in her artist, to express her artist. And that happened near the end of the program and within like so quickly, because she was in that well of inspiration and people feel it. And suddenly, you know, the universe starts to present us with opportunities. So that's, I don't want to say my favorite. I'm not going to use that word.
That's a good one, though.
It's a relevant, relevant to this
it.
audience.
Absolutely. And I love the ripple effect, you know, thinking that through. So she has, you know, 100 people coming to this new thing that she's doing, all the people that she's reached, you know, since working with you, and all those she will, like, wow, you know, that's massive.
And I was watching
impact.
the feedback from her event. You know, she was posting some of the things that people had said or videos of them. Yeah, and people are loving it and really receiving her in it. Like there's an energy around, because she's really stepping into what she wants to be doing right now, which is working with play and also working with her artist. And she's still doing like leader facilitations, but now she's incorporating more of those in that as well. And I'm just like, wow, you just took up, because she only finished the program like not long ago, and it's just taken off so quickly.
That's so cool. And that whole sense of play, that's so hard for some people. Like I'm guilty, you know, for years I remember going, play, what's that? It's frivolous. I don't have time for that. I got to work, you know, like, and it's so damaging. But learning how, you know, relearning, we did it as kids without even thinking about it. We played, you know, I think it's epidemic, you know, that and the hustle culture stuff. It's all hand in hand, I think. Wow, that's what a huge impact this can make. What do you like? What's your vision for this? You know, ongoing, because this has major potential for just really changing a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, this is a fitting question because we just wrapped up a container last night. So I was speaking about, here's the future of Theatre of the Alive to the people. To my people. I don't like the word client. To my people as a prophet. I don't like the word client. I find it so clinical, client. So I call them different things. Anyway, ensemble, that's from my theatre days. So the vision with this at the moment, because this is also the way that I work, is really listening to the living current. And I just keep stepping up, you know, and keep meeting the challenges and the fears and all the things that come on this journey when we're truly becoming ourselves. And also on the entrepreneur journey also requires a lot of courage. So it's kind of like a mixture of my will and then the way that the current is meeting me and moving me. You know, I find that that's the sweet spot. If we're overly like my will, it's not the most regenerative way to work, and also not the way that we can really utilize like universal forces. And if we're totally like, I just completely surrender, it's like the universe is like, well, what do you want? Like we need to meet. We're co-creative in this process, but I find that anyway, I'm getting off track. So where's this work going to go? I'm running this in a few different ways. Like I work with people one-on-one, though I don't do that very much. I rarely take on a one-on-one client because I'm quite full with my group, and I also work with them one-on-one during the program. There is going to be an online version of this at some point next year, because this is in person. I really love, from being a theatre maker, and I love working in person. So there's different variations of the program that are happening. I'm also doing immersion versions, which because there's people from other states, and eventually that's going to go international. But at the moment, there's people in different states around Australia that want this work. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, you organize it for me and I'll come and do a 2.5 day version. So it's like a full, you know, condensed initiation weekend. But really, there's a couple of visions of where I see it going. One is is probably going to happen the year after next, which is I am going to create, I want to call it more director training than facilitator training, to impart for people my 30 plus years of being on stage. And I'm only 34, but I've been on stage since I was like 4.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, professionally not quite as long, but still about half of that. Anyway, and my directing and theatre making experience, but also just to get curious with me about what the living current of this work is, because it's really alive. Like, this work has had such a fuck yes to it from everyone who's come into contact with it, like even on the outskirts. So I'm like, cool, I want to keep contacting what this is, and I want other people to research with me, and also for them to, I don't want to create copies of me. I want people to take ownership of what this work is to them and have other facilitators and directors so this work can keep spreading. And eventually, where I feel this is going is I want to open a theatre mystery school.
Wow. That sounds really amazing. All right, what might that look like?
Sue, I do not yet know. I know there's probably going to be a set location, and it will be like, I'm not 100% sure, but it will be some combination of the immersions and the program, where it will be like, let's say, if I'm going off other mystery schools that I know, not theatre-based ones, it'll be like, you live in there for 6 weeks and work with what this is really deeply. And I'll have other, facilitators and teachers, and probably running it in other places as well. Yeah, so that one's still a little bit in the mystery. The mystery school is still a bit in the mystery. I'm just kind of going bit by bit with this. So yeah, the next
cool
step, which will happen the year after next, likely, will be the director/facilitator training, because I just want to keep spreading the current of what this is, because I do feel it's important, and it's really in line with the new wave of what we are craving for as entrepreneurs, and also as humans. We are craving for people to really genuinely be human and be themselves. We're so sick of this perception of what professional is, which actually means here's a wall, here's me just telling you from my head what I know, and you're over there. Like, this model is not working anymore as a way of transmitting wisdom to each other, and really actually seeing the human underneath.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that. I think that is so cool. And I love how, like, you're just, you're living what you are leading by example, the way that you're doing this. And that is so cool. How did you, so, being entrepreneurs gone wild, I'm always curious, like, what ideas do you get while you're outside? What are you doing when these ideas hit? I believe you had a really powerful idea that launched this. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's been several steps along the way, and hold on, there was a few questions in there. The first one was
basically, all right, we'll start with how do you like to be outside to get those great ideas? What are you doing typically when those ideas hit?
I feel like the simplest one is going for a walk. I live in a really beautiful part of the world. I live in paradise. You can't see because I've just got the Alive logo, because behind me is just a grey couch. But outside is paradise. And it's just, the really simple going for a walk is one. The other one is, I am such a water baby. So being in bodies of water, especially if I do notice that I'm getting too heady, just submersing myself in. And I'm blessed to be in a place that is surrounded by many natural bodies of water. Like, I'm a little bit inland, but I'm only 15 minutes from the beach. But then all around me is freshwater bodies as well, creeks and rivers. And this is a very wet part of the world too. It's subtropical, so we get a lot of rain, but we also have beautiful bodies of water. So submerging myself is a really great one. And the simplicity of going for a walk, especially when I find that I'm banging my head against a wall to try and find a solution from here, it's like, oh baby, just get back into your body, and nature is the greater body.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's great. And so how did were you out walking or at the beach, or what, when you got kind of the vision for, hey Maja, you should make this?
Well, Theatre of the Alive actually came 2.5 years ago as a concept. It landed, and I can't remember exactly the moment that landed back then, but that also wasn't the right timing. Like something wasn't ripe. It's the first thing I ever attempted to launch that just got crickets. Like I had a lot of people interested, but no one jumped in, which had never happened before in my entrepreneur world. And then this time when it re-landed this year, I was walking with a friend along the Burleigh Headland, which is on the Gold Coast, just a bit north from here, which is this beautiful walk by the ocean, and it's kind of like this mountainousy walk right on the beach, so you're overlooking like cliffs and water. Yeah, and we were in conversation and he was asking me a few things, and it just landed so strongly, like the time is now for this. And I felt that familiar sense of electricity and fear when you're like, oh, I'm staring over the precipice again, but I know that this is it. I've been here enough times to know this is it. That happened.
That is so cool.
That was by a body of water.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. And
Yeah.
then you actually took action on it, which is great. So many of us get these ideas and then don't do anything. And like, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it didn't actually take that long, but it took longer than I had initially anticipated, because I was facing off with a lot of deep fear. This was really like, it was like, this is the mission. I didn't even know that cognitively then. Now I do, having being in the work, I'm like, oh, this is my life's work. And this is it's not like this is new. This is a culmination of all the work I've been doing my whole life in theatre and in facilitation entrepreneurship. But this form of it, of everything coming together to create this, of all my different masteries and attempts and things I've been in my whole life. But yeah, I really had to face off with some deep terror and actually be with it. And this is something I teach as well, is, so often the part that we're wanting to exclude, the part that's scared, the part that's telling us things that aren't of our preference, that are ways we believe that we can't be, that are parts of ourselves that we reject. So often that's where the treasure lies. But an actual willingness to be intimate with that. And I went through, as often happens, the same initiation in the birthing of this work of like, all right, here I am. I've got to get intimate with this fear. And as soon as I did, and it took like one day, after being in this like frantic, trying to come from the head and do it this way, took a day of just really deeply going, all right, I'm here, and expressing those things just to myself. I work with expression, and sometimes it's just expressing to you, but actually doing it. And then from there, everything just went into alignment, clicked into place. I caught on fire, and the world came to meet me in it.
Wow. That's powerful. That's so cool. I love that.
And it's beautiful that you...
Yeah.
I just want to say one more...
No, yeah, go ahead.
Just one more piece on this is because you work with people being out in nature, just such a beautiful offering and gift and invitation. And what I'm speaking to here is essentially meeting the wilderness in yourself.
Oh, I love that.
So it's beyond our preferences or beyond the same way that we sit in front of a laptop because we think that's how it has to do. There's all these ways we think we have to be, but so often there's grief. Often it's an emotion, but it can be many things: grief, sadness, anger, fear, just a way that we don't believe we're allowed to be in order to be in our business. So I'm not allowed to show up like this. I can't. And actually meeting that wilderness in us that is so beyond the rational mind and our neat little structures or our neat little boxes of our rooms, that is where the living, breathing current of our lives and of our work lives.
That's amazing. And I love too that you were saying, like there was that experience of, feelings of terror, but it was only a day, like I think so many times we're afraid, we peer into the abyss and we're like, oh, if I go there, I'm never coming out. Right. Oh. But it's like, no, go in, you will come out. But
let me clarify this. It was after like a month of feeling that fear, but not wanting to be with it and going like, oh no, I just need to work on the structure. I just need to figure out what this offer is. I just need to do all that. That was what I did for a month. So very fitting to what we're speaking about. So the actual
in the abyss was only a short time, but dreading it and for, trying to
avoiding it. By trying to come up with other types of solutions. And I want to say there are some entrepreneurs that can do that to a degree. And I would say men more so, like I don't want to be general here, but I find that, as women, there is a sense of like we're connected to the cycles in another way. And I don't just want to make it about that dichotomy of men and women, but there are definitely some entrepreneurs who can, the work that they do and all that, they can do it from a more heady structural place. And those people are still deeply served by coming into contact with the wilderness and their own internal wilderness, and something else is created there. And there are what I call embodied entrepreneurs, people who are really like, I need to be in this for this to happen. Like I really need to be in my transmission, who really need to be, and I include myself in this category, who really need to be connected to what's actually happening and come into intimacy with that in order for their work to flourish.
Mm. Oh, that's so cool. Oh man. All right, where can people find out more about working with you? And I'm also, because I've been a course creator before, I'm like, do the digital one, do it. So when is that coming? Let's skip to that for a second first. When you think in 2025 you're doing that, or?
Yeah, I haven't, because I'm focused on the immersions that are early next year and the next run of the program right now. But yeah, my sense is about halfway through next year.
Nice.
Early mid next year.
That's so good. And do you know how to do that? Have you, do you need help? What?
I've run groups on Zoom before and such. Yeah, I have. I really love in person. However, I'm gonna brave the Zoom wilderness once more. So in answer to your question, yeah, I've run stuff on Zoom in the past, and there's probably more structural pieces that people will support me with on the way as I lean into that again. But for now, yeah, I got a sense.
Really cool. But yeah, I think there are people all around the world that would want this. So that's really cool. All right.
Oh, you cut out.
And how long to Australia for 2.5 months? Oh, is it glitching?
Yeah, you cut out.
Okay, that's good.
You just got you back.
Thank you. Okay, good. So for people who are outside of Australia, or who are in Australia, or can be there for a couple of months, what is the best way that they can connect with you and find out more and work with you?
Yeah, social media has currently been the way people are finding me who are not in my immediate world. So yeah, I've got Instagram and Facebook, where it's pretty much all just theater of the alive is my obsession. And work is and that's also the thing I want entrepreneurs to really be gifted, is beyond just the excitement of creating things. I want your work to be an obsession. Like to not feel like, oh, there's the work and there's other stuff I do, or the work is the thing that I bury myself in because I want to keep meeting these metrics, or like keep challenging myself in how I can expand. But actually, I keep saying the living, breathing current, so let's go with it. The living, breathing current of my work is absolutely what I have infinite energy for, and just I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with my work. So yes, you can find my work all over my social media. It's pretty much all that's there, and occasionally stories of me and my housemates in paradise.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
That's definitely worth watching and following. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. I just wanted real quick, do you have if you could do any parting advice, and it could be on anything?
Well, what has emerged in this conversation, the language around it, is I want to invite people to really come into intimacy with wilderness. And that is going to be the thing that serves you the best in all manner of different areas of your life, to really go, what are the organic currents that move me?
That's deep. I love it. Thank you so much for being here, Maja. This is really cool. I hope that you'll come back. I want to hear more as this develops, and this is really cool.
Pleasure, Sue. It's great to meet you. And best of luck on the endeavors of building the woods retreats. Really cool.
Thank you.